Hey, it's Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com. And it is Monday. It's December 19th. This will be our chart lesson for the day. And this is a typical holiday type, what you'll see during the Christmas holidays. And this is why I'm probably going to trade tomorrow. And then I'm taking the rest of the year off. It's just not worth sitting in here, in my opinion, unless you need screen time and just need practice watching, prices print to a chart. It's not hardly worth it, in my opinion. And I'd rather enjoy my time doing something else. Because usually when you come back after the holidays, January and February, those can be some really good trading months in a lot of cases. So, but just not much happening today. I'll go over these trades. It's not going to take long, and then I'll probably trade tomorrow, and that's probably going to be it. And I'll probably take off. I'll go on vacation through the holidays till after the first. So this probably tomorrow will be our last chart lesson for the 2016 year. We'll just have to see. I may come in and do one if I get bored or something, but or I may even do one from home on my laptop or something if I get really bored. But at this point, I'm going to do today. It's only going to take a few minutes, and it's just a range day. You can see prices are consistently above and below the EMA. We're just going sideways here. Fairly tight. Really, it's probably 10 points from top to bottom, but we spent most of the time in this upper half, so 4 points maybe. So just not a very big range. There's some pretty clear trends here in each direction. The midline, it turns out there's a midline here. You couldn't find it till later on because early on it looked like this was going to be the support right across here. We pushed aside, but once you got this clear midline in here, you could measure this and just kind of see what you got up here, and notice that's where we ended up finding resistance the next time we came back up. So that's about the only clue for other than the fact that you got a channel working up and you get a break and a new high, and it is back up near the highs of the day. You could really put it up here, and that really helps you with that trade right there. So but in the end, I liked it better right here. So, and that was that measured move between these 2 points. And you can see that came in play all day as a support and resistance. So that's a clear midline. Earlier, I just thought I wasn't playing it really as a midline. It just like a area of strong support. But in the end, it turns out that that's because that's your midline. And you got to be careful with these midlines because those can be some of your biggest problems where you're going to have issues. They fail more than anything. So that's the reason this one's green. At this point, we were still playing this move up. So that's the reason I like these. But once we got in here, notice if you'd went short here, it'd been close. Looks like maybe a 4-tick failure. Would have worked here. You would have got tripped up here. Going long there, you would have got tripped up. These two would have worked. And the reason I like this one is because it's a double test of this level. And it's not a very good signal bar, though. It's somewhat bullish, so you might have, when it broke above here, dropped a limit order in, or you really could have used a stop, but that's a little bit aggressive. We already had a new high in, so really what you have here is just a double test of the midline. And, it's not the highest probability trade, so I'm not going to give it a blue one, but we'll talk about it in a minute. But anyway, let's back out a little more. We'll go through the trades. Like I said, there's only a few, so this won't take long. But I like this one if you want to be aggressive. This is really going sideways, and this is like a failed break lower here. But does look like there's a channel working here. It never really gets confirmed off the upper side, but you can see we bounced off that low multiple times until we had a little failed break outside. So it's an overshoot. We're a little ways away from the EMA, have been for a while, so you might take that one just to ride it back to the EMA. It's only 2 ticks, very low risk. Even if you're wrong, you're not going to lose much there. So maybe worth it for that. We never got another little pullback, so you never really got another chance to enter. By the time we get to here, you're back up to the highs. I don't want to enter there. So just wait and see what happens. See if you get a pullback, and you actually get a second entry long here with a fairly bullish bar. Notice this is double top, pull back first entry, pull back second entry. So that double top can count as a new high. And I really thought we'd push on up and get a new high, but then you come back and you get that double test here. You definitely don't want to go along there. It's too sideways. And this whole thing looks really sideways, but it does tick lower. It tests that line one more time. Fairly bullish bar. I like trying to go along there. If you didn't go along there, by the time it stacked up here a couple more times, I probably would have skipped this trade. And there's a breakout pullback long here, but we've got a break of this channel and a new high now, so I'm not going to risk that one. But notice what it does. It comes back and double tests that two more times, and you get a second entry long here. New high, pull back first entry, pull back second entry. This is so close to the previous high that it's a little dangerous, but I like it for the reason that it's a double test, and the fact that you try to go lower twice there, we're probably going to try for another leg. And so I felt it was worth risking on a slow day. You're probably not going to get a lot of chances, so if it looks close, you might want to take it. It was really tempting here. This one probably could be green. It's just a reversal of what we talked about off the other side. You've got your break now, and you've got a couple of moves. And the fact that this didn't go much further and you're a little ways away from the EMA, you might risk that one to come back to the EMA. You're better off to wait. You do pull back through here, push through the EMA and pull back and test this area right in here where there's a little bit of support and resistance going on. So it's a lower high, but it's not a very good signal bar. So for that reason, I don't like it. But you know, if you're noticing this orange day and you got this and you saw this here and you measured this and you say, hey, that looks like a measured move. Maybe we come back and test it. If you saw that, maybe, but then you're better off to wait on your reversal, which you get here, your reversal pattern, your failed second entry long. And even this one is close to being green because you're so close to this support right here. You need to have room to get out of here, so you probably want to play this with a limit order or be very careful of it. And you notice it looks like it was going to try to bounce, but it couldn't, and it went lower. So this one's real close. At this point, I really thought we'd probably go all the way to the low, but we didn't. And if you thought that right here, you can see you'd have been wrong. So that's the reason this one's real close. I probably should make it green. I liked it, and you know, at the time in live when it was live, but it was a little risky. So, because you see what if you'd have done the same thing here, you'd have got burned. And this one looks better than this one because it's testing the resistance. So this one really looks better than this one, but it's just a first entry right into a low that's right there. This one you got a little more room to work with, and you could sneak in there with a limit order. So you might have taken it. It's closer to being red. So then of course we turn back up. You get your two swings, but you never go any higher. You get a break here. There is a second entry long here, but look how big that bar is. It's right into those highs. Then you kind of get a little breakout pullback, but then you get that double test there. Not a good signal bar at all, so otherwise this one could be blue. You push up, you make a new high, and you get that little trap. It's kind of like a little repeat pattern of this over here. It's almost a perfect repeat pattern. But it's a little bit closer to the EMA than here. It is acting as resistance here, so this one's real tempting, but I still think it needs to be green. It's late in the day. It's closer to the EMA than this one, but it is a repeat pattern. We are coming off the highs, what looks like a range, so we're probably coming back to at least here. So you might risk it, and then you never really get another chance, and you get this little pullback right here. It's almost a repeat pattern of this, so, but it's after 2 o'clock as well, so I'm not going to take that one either, even if it was not after 2 o'clock. And there just wasn't much happening here. There's like 3 blue trades, nothing red, and a bunch of green ones. So it doesn't mean that we won't have a good move somewhere during the holidays between now and the first of the year, but this is generally what you're going to see not a lot of opportunity, a lot of fake outs, a lot of sideways stuff. So, unless you just want to get the practice in and get some screen time, I recommend just taking off and getting away from it for a little bit and getting a vacation. So, um, but anyway, I want to wrap it up for today. We'll be back again tomorrow, probably to wrap up the year, unless something changes or unless I get bored during the week. That's probably going to wrap it up for the rest of the year. So, won't be any midday chart lessons either, unless I'm bored and come in. And if I do, I'll put one up. You'll get the email notice if it's there. Otherwise, just assume there's not going to be anything else going on between now and the end of the year. So if I don't, well, I will talk to everybody tomorrow. So I'm just going to wrap it up. We'll be back again tomorrow to wrap up our year. This is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.